Like a vampire, I don't need to know you. Come with me, I'll show you. You can find me backstage, I'm a party with a Nicolas Cage. Girl, I want the body, you know you got a body like Nicolas Cage. You ain't gotta be scared, you ain't gotta be afraid, baby. It's just you and me alone tonight with Nicolas Cage.
Welcome to Season 3 of Late Night Cage Fight, the most honest Nick Cage movie comedy podcast, I think. We're a group of friends from Ohio who used to watch Nick Cage movies together religiously, and now we're just another podcast documenting our journey, ranking them all chronologically. Every episode, we pit two movies against each other in order to choose a winner, leading up to our season finale Cage Fight, where we decide the ultimate winner for the season. Our season 1 winner was Birdie.
Let's go do anything stupid, Birdie.
And the season 2 winner was Vampire's Kiss.
I'm a vampire.
The latest Nick Cage movie we reviewed, way back in the day, was Willy's Wonderland. I've got Cage Fighters Sean and Steve joining me. I don't know why in the outline I put my own name.
Reese, you're here too.
Reese is here too?
Yeah.
How are you two doing?
I am doing well. I got one half of my microchip. So, you know, the processing power of the microchip has synced up with my MacBook and the 5G and has accelerated the processing power of the recording, so I should be coming in crystal clear.
You sound beautiful.
Well, thank you.
I don't know if it's the microchip. Is that microchips? Is that a cereal?
Yeah. They actually have a pumpkin spice version for, you know, for the upcoming fall months. You know, after summer. Which is my favorite flavor.
Steve, how are you doing? Are you microchipped? Are you tagged?
I have also been low-jacked by the United States Bill Gates administration.
Was this willingly or was this forced?
Both.
What do you mean by both? It can't be both. They took over your mind?
No, it's like that thing where, you know, you're given like an impossible choice, right? It's, do you want to get low-jacked or do you want to get punched repeatedly in the dick?
Okay.
And so it was a voluntary choice, but
It's kind of like if you're getting choked out, but then you're like, you know, harder, daddy.
yeah, because you like it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Jesus Christ.
Because it reminds you of your upbringing.
I'm glad we're only a few minutes in to this episode and we're already talking about punching dicks.
Autoerotic I can't, you know what, forget it. Asphyxiation.
I heard that's something Pauly Shore was really into.
We're officially in the 90s, boys. We will be talking about the neo-noir thriller Red Rock West and crime drama / unintentional comedy Deadfall, both from 1993. We'll discuss our thoughts on both of these movies, memorable scenes, Cage's performance, etc. And then we'll have our Cage Fight where we decide once and for all which cinematic masterpiece shall go on to compete in the season finale. But first, let's just do a quick catch-up, guys. What's new, fellas?
Yeah, just
what's going on?
Just playing some video games, and I just played Control on PlayStation 5. Would highly recommend it. It's essentially a third-person shooter Metroidvania where you are exploring a government agency that is that deals with extra-dimensional occurrences. So if you're a fan of, you know, some of the imagery or that style of imagery from like Inception or, you know, maybe like Doctor Strange, really trippy game, really interesting, and you get to be a girl with like telekinesis and stuff, which is cool.
Man, I'm really excited. You're going to let me borrow it?
It's actually free on PlayStation Plus right now. So if you have a...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I meant the PlayStation 5.
Oh, I don't know if we could get that through customs.
So what's the game called?
Control.
Control.
Yeah, if you don't have a PS5 yet, but you have a PlayStation Network account, you can go on the store on your website or on like the website and add it to your library. That way, so you have it at least.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do that then.
Really cool game.
Because I'm up for the system, but I haven't. I always struggle with launch systems because usually the launch titles, there's not a lot of them. Mm-hmm. It's not usually any of the games that I'm particularly like day one excited for.
Yeah.
And there always ends up being a bug in the first gen launch that's either a really good bug or a really bad bug. Mm-hmm. And there's like no in between when it comes to Sony. It's either like, this is the only one that's going to have backward compatibility, or this is the one that randomly explodes. So
far, I think there haven't really been a whole lot of bugs. The only bug is that you can't buy them because the chips are all stuck at the Suez Canal.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Steve, it's your turn. Tell us something new with your life.
I'm not allowed to do new things.
Why not? Who is preventing you?
Ever since Biden took over.
Here we go.
The entire country has been in a wreck, and it's been terrible. And just recently I found out that he's actively coming to take our guns.
Yeah?
So,
just like Obama did.
I just had this conversation last night with a Japanese friend.
Oh, so Obama's coming to take Obama and Biden. I know they're still in cahoots, so it's really Obama that just runs Biden just like he did before. But they're all coming and taking the guns from Japan, too.
This is not Joe Rogan, Steve.
It's not the Daily Wire.
I don't know. Maybe he is. But as long as we get to keep watching movies, as long as Nick Cage is able to make movies still, then it's fine. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
You went to Nintendo Land.
Oh yeah, I had the opportunity to go to Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Japan. That was really cool.
Where is that exactly?
It's in Osaka.
It is in Osaka. Okay, I thought I saw your tagging and I saw that it was in Osaka, and I got really excited because we're supposed to go there this summer, and then I got really bummed when I realized that as an American citizen I'm not allowed there. So
why not?
I got neglected because they're not allowing anybody in. They're barely allowing citizens in.
Oh, you mean Japan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hopefully that changes.
Yeah, they're on
soon.
Hopefully, but
you just need to get
for us.
You just got to get the butt swab first.
Nick Cage was complaining about these same issues.
That's true.
His fiancée not being able to see her. So, Nick, we know how you feel. We've been there.
Speaking of Nick.
Yeah, Steve, you got some Nick Cage news? Let's jump into it.
Not a lot, just a little. You know, he's like you said, he's been married.
Yeah, again. Congratulations. Newlywed.
Yep.
That's great. It's cool.
This time it wasn't an accident.
Look, I'm trying really hard not to make jokes because, Nick has every right to get...
Yeah, the only other news is evidently, as Jiu-Jitsu is releasing on Netflix, plenty of people share our same struggles with being intimidated, confused, and in some cases just really weirded out by Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah? We got a new Mortal Kombat coming out soon.
Yep, that's true. I'm fairly certain that was inspired by Jiu-Jitsu, actually.
It could have been. Yeah.
I think it was.
Unfortunately, Nicolas Cage is not associated with the new Mortal Kombat or any Mortal Kombat.
He would have killed it as Johnny Cage.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Is that all of our Nick Cage news?
That's all the news I have for today, unfortunately.
Yeah, besides the Ant Bully HD remaster, rebullied edition coming to Steam, with new remastered audio featuring Nicolas Cage.
Tell me. Bully me.
Aren't they releasing an Ant Bully for PlayStation VR as well?
I thought that they had put a hold on the Ant Bully stuff because of all of the cyberbullying and the bullying happening in the schools.
Yeah,
you're right. Actually, now that I think about it, what I read about wasn't an Ant Bully VR. It was actually Ant Bully Mediation VR.
We've really gone off the deep end here.
This is
the first episode of season 3. Remember, and this is supposed to be setting up the rest of the season, and we're already out there, people.
We're in the deep end because that is what this is. Look at the movies that we have coming up for the season.
Yeah.
This is the shallow end. It only goes deeper from here.
We're really gonna feel it today with Deadfall.
That's right.
But before Deadfall, let's talk about Red Rock West.
What kind of work you look for?
I was hoping to get on a drilling crew.
Why don't you try Red Rock? Maybe somebody there can head you in the right direction.
I thought you were supposed to be here last Friday. You are here for the job, aren't you? And you're Lyle from Dallas, right?
Right.
There's the 5, like we agreed. Just to go out to the house, break in. When she comes in, you know what to do.
Your name's Suzanne? I don't know how to tell you this, but your husband, Wayne, he plans to have you murdered.
You know, I never did catch your name.
Michael.
Lyle from Dallas.
Super fast.
What should I do?
If I were you, I'd get a divorce.
Marriage is just a state of mind.
Not in Texas.
We're not in Texas.
You can't let them get away. Just find her.
It's all about money. Young lady, don't make me shoot you.
Nicolas Cage of Honeymoon in Vegas and Moonstruck, Lara Flynn Boyle of The Temp and Wayne's World, and Dennis Hopper of Boiling Point and Blue Velvet.
Does this mean that we ain't partners?
Red Rock West. From Columbia.
2 minutes into the film, we are getting Nick Cage shirtless doing one-armed push-ups in the middle of the street. And I'm thinking, it's looking promising, guys. The vibe of this movie, it definitely has a kind of contemporary Western feel. Then it starts to feel more like a thriller. And then when the only female character in the movie shows up, it started to feel like a Lifetime movie. I don't know if you guys felt that. I guess when you put all those things together, that's what they call neo-noir. And the fact that they have the characters smoking and drinking throughout the whole movie. That's what makes neo-noir, apparently.
So Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, this is live-action Cowboy Bebop. You should watch this before the Netflix one comes out. Yeah, it's going to be like, Dragon Ball Evolution, when that came out, there was already a Chinese Dragon Ball movie that had been made. So I thought, we didn't really need another movie, but that's cool that Hollywood is attempting one, and it was actually pretty good. I recommend everybody watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
This film is actually a real adaptation of the Super Mario Brothers movie, especially with Dennis Hopper's portrayal of Bowser from Dallas.
Bowser from Dallas. Can you believe this? This is because of when I was born. When I was a kid, I couldn't watch most Dennis Hopper movies, I think, or I just wasn't interested in them. So my first encounter with Dennis Hopper in a movie was Super Mario Brothers movie.
You know, I was wondering. I thank you for saying that, because honestly, watching that movie, I was trying to think why I knew him, and now that you say that, I realize that not only is it obviously the same actor,
right,
but he has the same like hair and makeup. I mean, it's like it's the same look.
It is
100%.
I heard that Dennis Hopper, he did that movie because his kids told him to, and then his kids were like really disappointed in him afterwards.
I actually thought that he was one of the more entertaining pieces of that movie.
Which one? Are we talking Mario or are we talking Red Rock?
Well, I mean, I'm talking Mario.
Both, really?
Yeah, both, really. But as a kid watching the Mario movie, I was afraid. He scared me, especially with those like blonde tipped cornrows. That was like Mad Max for kids.
Yeah,
that's probably what messed me up as a kid and got me into all these other crazy subcultures. Going back to Red Rock West, I would say for the first third of the movie, I was actually really into it. I was willing to suspend my disbelief when Cage's character Michael is mistaken for the hitman that J.T. Walsh's character Wayne, the bar owner, has hired to murder his wife because, as we're made to believe, she's cheating on him with a ranch hand named Kurt. I loved that part, actually. Then, when Michael pays a visit to the wife, Lara Flynn Boyle's character Suzanne, I really liked how she then pays him off not to kill her and to instead go after Wayne. And of course, we know that he wouldn't kill her or anyone else because he's a moral character. But then later, Michael is leaving Red Rock and accidentally hits Kurt with his car, and Michael, Nick Cage's character, being the tough guy with morals that he is, drives Kurt to the hospital to try to save his life. And while he's there, the sheriff shows up, who just so happens to be Wayne, the bar owner. So then Michael escapes from Walsh, only to get picked up by the real hitman, Lyle from Dallas, Dennis Hopper, and dragged back to the bar, where he then has to escape from Wayne and Lyle both. And he does it by walking across a 2x4 to ride on the roof of a big box truck, and somehow he later convinces the driver to take him back to Suzanne's house. And that was when I realized that this whole movie was going to be, one of those out of the frying pan into the fire type situations on repeat. Basically, I think it is a pretty fun ride if you're willing to forgive all of these forced coincidences that are there just to move the plot forward. But it gets to be a little much, in my opinion.
I agree. I definitely think that the movie overall, I think it's a well-made film. And if you're into, modern day westerns or, noir style films, I think, there's something here for you. I would argue that Cage's character is a little bit of a Gary Sue.
Gary Sue.
He they really emphasize throughout the movie that he is. They try to make him just like, oh, he's always going to do the right thing. Like, this is a guy who has probably like $5 to his name right at the beginning of the movie, and
he was a Marine.
Yeah, he was a Marine,
and he was in that accident.
Yeah,
at least they gave him a handicap from the beginning.
No,
but he won't lie about it. He won't be dishonest. There's that scene where he's in the what was some kind of store, I forget, but he was in the store and he thinks about stealing the money out of the register, but he doesn't, and but he's still the good guy because he like fucks the sheriff's wife. So that's the line.
Yeah, but she is, spoilers, manipulating him. Maybe.
She's a femme fatale.
What did you think, Steve?
I disagree with both of y'all.
Really?
Yeah, I feel so. First off, I feel like this was like just it was like a Russian nesting doll of a movie, where like as the movie progresses, you open it up and it becomes a totally different movie inside of a movie.
All right.
And then you go a little further and then you open it up and it becomes totally different movie once again. But so
yeah, well, that's kind of what I was saying with the shifts in the feel of it.
Yeah, and that's 100%. So like, yeah, it starts off with this I don't know what the fuck is going on moment, which I guess that was the hook back in the day for how to get people interested in movies. Now you've got like this big action scene in the first few minutes, but back then it was really just enough to make you go like, what the fuck is going on? So that's your opening hook, right? The trying to figure out why he's broke down in the middle of the road and what's going on. You realize it was really just him prepping for a job interview. But anyways, they make a point to establish two things in this movie, right?
Okay.
Right off the bat, in the first 5-15 minutes probably. They establish his morality. You know, he won't lie, he won't do anything wrong. He's a really, really good guy.
Yeah.
And then they try to establish his handicap.
Okay.
And then they immediately destroy both of those things.
Okay.
Because he's unwilling to lie about a quote-unquote bad knee to get a job interview, but he has absolutely no problem lying whenever he gets to Wayne's about being somebody else altogether and then, you know, just following through on murdering someone.
What do you... He didn't follow through with that.
Okay. In a realistic situation, if let's assume that he's the good guy and he agrees to, you know, oh yeah, you're looking for a job, I can do the job. Sounds like guy's not coming. Finds out someone's going to pay you $5,000 to take the money.
Yeah.
Are you going to walk out there and go to her house, or are you going to go find the police right then? Why did he go to the house? Why did that ever escalate beyond that point? He should have immediately tried to find the sheriff. So in my mind, the morality was gone at that point. And then he has a bad knee that apparently makes him too unreliable on a drilling team. But yet he has absolutely no problem sprinting through the forest, jumping over things. And
I did notice that.
Running after trains.
Yeah.
I mean, he did some straight up racing with the moon shit.
Yeah. So, okay. But how do you feel about, you mentioned the Russian nesting dolls type effect that you feel. But do you feel like the events that occur in the movie obviously are not realistic, but are just kind of forced upon you? Yeah,
they're way too abrupt. Like it's a very, very abrupt like gear change of what's going on with things. And that's fine.
Okay. So I actually put together a list of the unlikely events that happen in this movie after the part that I mentioned before, where Michael reunites with Suzanne, when he escapes on the top of the box truck. Yeah. So I'm gonna go through them. It's kind of a synopsis, I guess, and there are tons of spoilers here, but I think you guys will appreciate it. 1, Nicolas Cage knocks the funk out of Dennis Hopper at Suzanne's house and just leaves him there. There's a lot of knocking people out cold in the movie and just leaving them. So why wouldn't he tie him up or something at least?
Is that him?
Yeah.
What should I do?
If I were you, I'd get a divorce.
2, Suzanne has a Jeep they can use to flee. Of course, the Jeep's out of gas. After they fill it up in the next town over, Suzanne wants a drink at the local bar. Just one drink. Earlier, Dennis Hopper wants a drink with Nick, too. Everyone is begging Nicolas Cage to let them buy him a drink in the movie at the most inconvenient time. Number 3, after the bar, Suzanne is too horny to keep going. It's best to stay overnight at the Comfort Inn next door so they can have sex. Then, in the morning, she convinces Michael to drive back to Red Rock to steal back her insurance money from Wayne. That's a really great idea.
Yeah.
4, Wayne comes back, so the two of them hide in the closet. And Wayne is suspicious that there's someone in the closet, but he conveniently gets distracted. When the coast is clear, they exit the closet to make their escape until, oh no, Dennis Hopper's back, and he punches Nick in the face.
Mike! Fuck Mexico!
5. Someone finally is killed in this movie when Lyle kills the lone cop at the station before breaking Wayne out. Then Lyle forces Cage to race a train, like you said, and practically ramp over it for fun.
Yeah.
What was the point of that? 6. At last, we have our climax in the cemetery where Lyle forces Cage to dig for Wayne's money box. I feel like Michael has plenty of opportunities to overpower Lyle, but whatever, it's cool. All they have is the keychain pocket knife. But Wayne mentions when they pull in that there's a caretaker on the property. If Lyle kills him, he will then alert the caretaker. So why doesn't Lyle just restrain everyone and just kill the caretaker from the start before finishing the job? I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. Number 7, my last complaint is the ending. Michael pours all the money out of the bag from the train and then kicks Suzanne off, which was awesome. I liked that part of the ending. But when you think about it, the police are close behind them, and we're supposed to believe that Michael has escaped scot-free, but couldn't the police just radio the neighboring precincts and have them make a roadblock to stop the train or call the conductor or something?
Plot was messy, a little bit.
Yeah.
I think generally the performances were good.
Yeah, I thought Cage was solid. I even somewhat liked his character. You know, he was kind of your typical badass, but he was also...
Cage was solid. I liked Leslie and Wayne, but the goddamn woman,
Suzanne.
I did not really care for her character, and I don't know if that was a common acting style of the time or something, but she did not feel genuine to me at any point.
I think her character was intentionally written to fit in with this neo-noir atmosphere that they were going for.
Yeah. I would imagine it being the way that a character would act in the old PI scenarios, right? Mm-hmm. She was the woman that would come into a PI and be like, I need you to come and solve this mystery for me.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just felt off for me for her to be essentially a con man as well. She didn't seem intelligent and conniving enough, and at no point did she give any sort of a vibe that she understood what she was doing. Mm-hmm. She always just felt like this, airheaded, I don't know what's going on kind of character. So it felt broken to me a little bit.
You're not thinking about going to the police, are you?
Yeah, I want to get this goddamn mess cleaned up before anyone else gets hurt.
What are you going to tell them?
The truth.
You sure about that?
Cage played it pretty straight. He didn't get too crazy over the top. There was some decent chemistry with the other actors. What kind of let me down was in the final act how Cage's character kind of becomes secondary and more passive as the story shifts focus to the other characters. But I really like watching Dennis Hopper in movies, so it was cool to watch him have a lot of screen time, so I couldn't complain too much.
Nick asks Dennis Hopper to blow him, and he doesn't do it. And I think that movie would have ended very differently if that was the case.
Yeah.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
You think you're better than me, don't you?
Why don't you just blow me?
The music reminded me of the video game The Last of Us. There's that moody acoustic guitar riff that they play. But yeah, that's Red Rock West, the first movie of our first episode of season 3.
It's the first Cage movie to take place in Wyoming.
Is that where it took place? It took place in Wyoming?
Mm-hmm. which roughly
Seems like a
translates.
ways.
Wyoming and Cherokee roughly translate to no state here. So Wyoming actually does not exist. It is a fictional U.S. state.
That makes sense. That checks.
Yeah. Name one person who's ever been to Wyoming. You can't.
I actually can't. Therefore,
There
your
you go.
theory must be 100% correct. Do we have any trivia or behind-the-scenes facts about Red Rock West? Do we know anything? I know this movie is hard to find for some reason.
Dennis Hopper actually was supposed to play the sheriff, but he insisted that he played Lyle from Dallas.
That's interesting. I wonder who Cage modeled his character after. I felt like it was a very intentional throwback to John Wayne type characters. James Dean again comes to mind, but I just felt like watching him in this role, he was channeling some of his badass heroes.
This movie was well reviewed, whereas our next film.
You know that all of the lead actors from this movie were all in David Lynch movies. Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet, Nicolas Cage, of course, Wild at Heart, and Laura Flynn Boyle in Twin Peaks.
That is a pretty fresh fact. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
And now let's fall into Deadfall.
Tonight's haul, gentlemen,
It's $2 million.
yeah, I like the sound of that.
I love you, Joe. I might want you to take me away right now. Let's go.
Tell you what, if it's a high card, I'll tell you who I am. And if it's a low card, I'll tell you who you are. Is that a deal?
Joker. I was in this con once before. Backfired.
He's wired! It's a setup!
Bad. 60 grand a carat.
Flawless.
It's $9 million worth for the price of two.
You have seduced me. Shake. Someone's trying to kill me, man!
Looking to score big, break a young girl's heart.
What do you want?
You don't know me. I don't have anyone.
How's your pool game?
Not too good.
Ah, perfect. Perfect.
That, my friend, was poetry. Welcome to paradise, Mr. Joe.
Anything goes wrong, kill them all.
Police! Stop it!
Tell me this is a dream I'm gonna wake up from.
What can I say about Deadfall? This may honestly be one of the worst movies to be made on a $10 million Hollywood budget. It's so bad, I couldn't even find critical reviews for our review. I think that they didn't even know what to say, so their review was silence.
It has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, which...
Now, it's not to say that Deadfall is unwatchable, though I personally argue that a lot of it is. I think Nicolas Cage elevates Deadfall from a kind of boring and forced noir gangster movie to actually something legendary.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up, man!
It's something that you have to see for yourself, and a good place to do it is YouTube. You can just search Deadfall Nicolas Cage scenes, and I mean, wow. It's crazy that this movie exists. Oh yeah, I thought it was funny. The beginning of the movie, Joe Dolan, played by Michael Biehn, tells the guy he's driving to the drug deal not to worry about risking his 50 grand because he's about to make $500,000 back in cocaine. Deadfall was made with a budget of $10 million and earned a grand total worldwide of $18,000. What?
Really?
Yes.
It could make more money if they allowed you to watch it somewhere. Perhaps.
Yeah, for real. But I mean, honestly, there's nothing to this movie except for Nicolas Cage's wild role as Eddie. I mean, we might as well just talk about him in the movie. Do you guys think that being the method actor that Nick Cage is, do you think he chose to do this role simply as an excuse to snort massive amounts of cocaine on set?
Wasn't it directed by a family member?
Yeah,
it was
his brother, right?
Yeah.
Was it his brother?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have you guys here to fact check
It's Coppola, Christopher Coppola.
Yeah, it's definitely a Coppola.
Who
think
also wrote it, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I was
wrote and directed.
Since you mentioned method acting, I was going to mention this later, but apparently Cage came onto set dressed in a wig, albino contact lenses, and dark sunglasses because he thought that this would add more authenticity to the character of a 2-bit hustler.
He was allowed to pick his own costume for this, right?
Dude, when I first saw Face Off and I saw how Nick Cage played Castor Troy, I honestly thought, okay, this actor probably had to study these people and interacted with these kinds of people in real life because it was that believable to me as a kid. But with this, I question everything with Deadfall. Did he talk to real hustlers that were like this? Why would he think that real people would talk, act, look like this, do you think?
I mean, I feel like people that are on lots of cocaine probably do talk like this.
Am I fucking retarded? Huh? I know what this is. You're trying to stop me out because of this crazy little nephew being around. Well, vive la fucking France, man!
First thing I thought when I saw his character, I just thought, do you remember Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite? Well, this is him now. Feel old yet?
Oh, man. I thought that he had this kind of French accent or something that he was forcing. I mean, it was mostly mumbling, but there was some kind of accent there peppered in.
Pick a card.
Pick a card.
Pick a card.
He's trying.
Pick a card.
That was the greatest introduction to him in any movie, though. I do have to admit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was good.
You can't forget that. Yeah, great introduction.
He was trying so hard to get that Riddler role in Batman Forever.
Did you guys notice his nose? He has some kind of prosthetic nose. It was to me, it was, I don't know if you know, in the classic anime series with the characters that have the pointy nose. I just felt like he was trying to be a live action anime character with that nose. It was amazing. Oh, man. It's a Joker. It's a Joker, right? It's a Joker.
We live in a society.
And you know that a lot of these lines are improv. This is the best example of allowing Nick full control, letting him go wild. And the ironic thing is that this movie is honestly trash, except for these moments where Cage is free.
Who else is in this movie? Because there's a lot of like good, well-known actors. To this day, correct?
There's some definitely classic, legendary actors in the movie.
Yeah.
But I know you're not talking about the female lead, Sarah Trigger. The only other movie of note that I found that she was in was called Psycho Sushi.
Yeah, and that's barely.
This is Psycho Sushi. It's about death and sex.
No, but who else? We have Michael Biehn, which was most known for Terminator. Is that probably still accurate?
Yeah, Michael Biehn was in Terminator. He was also in Aliens, both directed by James Cameron. Those are probably his biggest roles.
James Coburn.
Yeah, I mean some
Peter Fonda.
Yep.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, it seems like all these actors are trying. Mm-hmm. There is some acting happening. It's just the whole story set up. There's something lost here between the script and what they shot and how they shot it. I mean, they obviously wanted to make this noir con artist grifter movie, but I just feel like half of the movie is them filming shadows or darkness. I can't even see what the hell is happening in the movie.
It's a cool concept, but the main character is he's just such a nothing character.
Oh,
and
yeah.
B,
my God,
it's so hard to follow what is even going on. I mean, after they, get rid of Cage's character in a very nonsensical way.
It was epic.
I don't know if I just missed something, but I had no idea what his plan against Charlie Sheen's character was. He's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna grift this guy by losing to him in pool.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Yeah, the movie does a horrific job at explaining what the hell's happening and why it's happening. What's even worse is we're supposed to believe that Michael Biehn's character is this really sharp grifter. He's the best of the best. And then at the end of the movie, he's been duped by his own dad the whole time.
That was the dumbest plot twist.
Yeah, it was so bad.
And I still don't understand why there is a guy with a robot hook hand.
I don't know, but it's amazing. The diamond analyst.
That actor, I guess he always wanted to be a Bond villain, so they're just like, oh yeah, just give you a hook hand.
Ah.
I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea what was going on at that point.
I thought it would be funny if the guy with the hook hand, if they had hired Christopher Lloyd to play that role. Ghost in the Shell 2, in a sense, is a movie. There's a villain in that movie, very briefly, who has one of those, like, you call it a hook hand. It's like a pincer hand or something. I wonder if Mamoru Oshii watched Deadfall and was like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to put a crab hand on my bad guy. I often wonder if Japanese audiences watch some really bad American movies and not quite understand that they're really bad. But that's kind of me being an elitist. I think that's not the case. Oh man, Michael Biehn, he fell for the Deadfall. Am I right?
Why was it called Deadfall?
I've wondered. What a deadfall is something.
There is a reason. Yeah, there's a reason behind it.
A deadfall is a trap so constructed that a weight, such as a heavy log, falls on an animal and kills or disables it, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary.
Thanks, Miriam.
Oh, I'm sorry. The note that I had was actually that critics had dubbed the name of the movie Dreadfall.
Oh, that's pretty clever. Dreadfall.
And of all Nicolas Cage characters, there is a pseudo sequel, or
which you're saying is actually a prequel, right?
Even though his character is older. So,
do you think that they just reveled in all of the bad reviews, and they ate it all up, and it made them want to just screw everyone and make this sequel?
I would argue that an entertaining 2 out of 10 film is better than a boring 6 out of 10 film.
I agree. I mean, when we're about to get to the cage fight here, the cage fight portion of the episode, And I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm kind of on the fence, guys. I am on the fence, and it's going to be up to you two to choose the winner. Because it's not, as I suspected, it's not clearly Deadfall. Because I rewatched Deadfall last night, and my God, was it a slog to get through when Nicolas Cage was not on the screen.
Did your opinion change from when we had seen it before?
When we had seen it before, we were drinking and ignoring parts of the movie actively.
Absolutely. But I had a very similar feeling. Watching it again, I thought, I do not remember it being like this.
I just love how it drags. I love how it drags on and on. You think that, okay...
Well, and I forgot how well it... Like, how much narration there was and how, how centered it was around Michael Baine's character.
Yeah.
I had remembered it being... I don't know. I guess I remembered Nick's character being a little bit more prominent and a little bit less of an accessory. But I think that's just because at the time that was the focus again. And I don't, I guess we haven't mentioned this yet, but for me, this movie has a very meaningful impact because, as we've talked about before on this podcast, we used to have Nicolas Cage Appreciation Night, NCAN for short.
Is this going to be story time?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Someone is at the front door.
You have an intruder.
Yeah, apparently.
Grab your gun that you're not allowed to have.
You're not supposed to be talking about the Nicolas Cage Appreciation Night, Steve. I've told you over and over.
Yeah, evidently.
And now
they're here for me.
I have to send my guy to come kill you.
Yeah, they were coming for me.
I hope it's the right guy. Not just some guy who's happened to be in the area.
I see what you did there. So for me, can you shut up? NCAN was something that took place between you and Matt Waite, and was there anyone else?
Todd.
Other people randomly, but it was mostly you and Matt. At the time, correct?
Yeah, and we just kind of dragged other people into it.
Yeah, so I was one of the people that got dragged in, and the particular movies for that night, Deadfall was the first, the highlight. It was the highlight movie for the night.
Yeah.
There were other ones that that were familiar to people, but that was the one we were there for.
Okay.
So for me, because of that, it has somewhat of a special place in my nostalgia bank.
Yeah. Me too.
But after going back and watching it, I realized that it was way different than what I had remembered.
Right.
There was a lot less piss. There was a lot less shoe throwing.
Right.
There was a lot less violence and hiding in closets and just overall terror.
Right. You're talking about the actual events that occurred while we were watching the movie.
No. I'm just talking about what I remember.
Oh. Yeah, totally had some great memories watching Deadfall with a group. I think this is one that if you're gonna watch it, you should really watch it with other people, because it's the only way you're gonna survive. I mean, by the time we got to the sequence where the characters are talking on a moving carousel in the dark, a merry-go-round, I wanted to just end all life on the planet. This whole idea, this whole concept is shit. And the fact that I have to watch two grown men talk to each other on a merry-go-round, which, by the way, there's a merry-go-round that's pretty prominent in Face Off. I think John Woo does a much better job at using that imagery, that location. But yeah, man, and then it's just, you roll your eyes so far in the back of your head when you realize that his dad was playing him the whole time to get the grift. Get the cake. You gotta get his cake.
The cake is a lie.
Cake is a lie.
Although, I do have to say, bringing it back to the point, the reason that we're all truly here, Deadfall had still some of the greatest lines from Cage, in my opinion.
No, it's not opinion. It's true.
Yeah,
it's in the Bible.
Somebody's trying to kill me, man.
Well, viva la fucking France, man.
Hi, fucking yeah.
Yeah, really great stuff. And you can tell that in some of those scenes, they've dubbed his voice over. They've done the ADR. It doesn't really fit. And there's something there that's telling you that it's not recorded with a live studio audience.
Yeah.
I love after he murders that dude, he slits his throat in the alley. And then he goes home, and the first thing he does when he walks through the doors, he does like that disco pose.
I love how the two connecting tissues between these movies, the two themes, are that it just has somebody sleeping with somebody else's woman, and
yeah.
Did you know that Val Kilmer was originally supposed to star?
No.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like Michael Biehn. I love him in Aliens.
It was supposed to be Val Kilmer and Joanne Wally.
I would have preferred Val Kilmer. I think.
I would have preferred Wally.
I don't know. I would have preferred a rewrite of the entire script though, minus Nick Cage. Just don't touch the Nick Cage parts.
You said you don't know Joanne Wally?
No. Do you?
Not particularly. I was looking up some of the things she's done to maybe see if it sparks any joy. I mean, anything.
Well, she's one of the owners of Wally's Wonderland.
Yeah. Yes.
And they made that Disney Pixar movie about her.
So, guys, I own Deadfall on DVD. And now, after having seen the movie, I want you guys to look at the cover.
It looks like a 2003 sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's very deceptive, and it has an image of Nick Cage's face from another
movie.
Nothing.
Yeah, looking nothing like he looks in this movie.
Yeah, there's no wig. No mustache, no shades, no prosthetic nose. He looks like Leaving Las Vegas Cage.
When did that release come out? Because I know that the poster was different.
Yeah, I think this was I don't know, maybe the last 10 years they released this DVD. But yeah, wow, Deadfall.
I really want to watch Arsenal from 2017, see why. Just why.
Yeah, we should watch Arsenal and compare. And the reviews I read or glossed over for Arsenal are pretty similar in that it's a complete waste of time. But I wonder if Cage still has some of his antics as Eddie.
I watched the trailer. It seems like he definitely plays the same role.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch it. Arsenal. What a cool title for something so not cool. Arsenal.
Sounds like an EA game.
Yeah, let's get into it. This is now the cage fight portion of our episode here. Red Rock West versus Deadfall. I feel like I have an impression here I think I have a prediction of what you guys have chosen. So I'm going to ask you straight up. Has either of you chosen Red Rock West as your choice?
Is that your prediction?
That's not my prediction. It's part of my prediction. Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm asking. I'm predicting that everybody is choosing Deadfall. So I just want to ask, has anyone chosen Red Rock West?
I was considering it because I do think that Red Rock West is technically the better film.
Yeah, I'm on the edge here, guys. That's what I'm saying. I'm right in the middle. I was so Deadfall. I was so Deadfall until I watched it again and wanted to gouge my eyes out. Minus Nick Cage, and that's why we got the supercut on YouTube.
I still think I lean a little bit more towards Red Rock West.
Do you?
I was strongly there at the beginning, but as the movie went on, every time there was another layer to it, another shift, it like chipped away a little bit every time.
Yeah, I had this.
It had such a
experience.
Strong opening, and I was like, as soon as I started, I was like, this is gonna be it. I don't even like just even remembering Deadfall. This is it. I can't fight with this. But as it went on, I'm like,
starts to fall apart.
At least, I was like, at least Deadfall is consistent trash.
All right, well, I'm gonna put it on the table. I've decided that Deadfall is the movie that I want to see compete with the others. So I'm going to put my eggs in that basket with Deadfall, and the reason is just how legendary Eddie is, Nick's role, how over the top he is, the improv, just the crazy lines, just from Nick's role in it. It's an amazing movie. Everything else is trash. But if you can get through it, there's some worthwhile stuff. Not everything is trash. I will say, I did think that the pool sequence was kind of well done when they were playing pool. I don't know why they were playing pool or what it was getting at, but just I was intrigued. Of course,
that they were
like that
pool.
vibe.
Well, but I mean, there was some suspense there, and I just thought it was kind of well shot. I like watching people play pool, I guess. And Charlie Sheen seemed to be trying with what he had. But then when it shifted to the robot crab hand diamond hustler, that's when it turned to shit again. Also, I mean, you get to see Nick Cage. We didn't really talk about it. Eddie is killed in the movie by Michael Biehn's character, and the way he's killed is his face is put in a deep fryer.
Yeah.
And so he gets his face greased.
A deep fryer.
And you also find out
a deep fryer that's on for reasons.
Right, it's just there. It's just waiting to be used, waiting to deep fry somebody's face.
No.
And we also find out that Nick Cage has been wearing a wig this whole movie. I had no idea.
I'm going to throw all my eggs in Red Rock West for different reasons.
Okay.
Cage was only in half of Deadfall. Cage was a great aspect of Deadfall. It's exactly that. You take Cage out of the movie was garbage. And the only thing that's great about Cage in Deadfall is the fact that it's just like you said, improv. He's a stand-up comedian. He's not an actor in a movie. And
but it's
that's
so
what we're
good.
truly here for. Hey, that's what we're here for. We're not here for Cage as a stand-up comedian. We're here for Cage as an actor and as a member of the movie.
Hothead! Huh? I'll show you Eddie. A fucking hothead, man! I'll show you a hothead!
And in Red Rock West, even though the movie seemed to constantly change and constantly continue, and it was a series of unfortunate events.
I wanted to make that joke. Damn you.
It was a whole movie.
Yeah.
And it had progression, and Cage still made it, and Cage still brought it to the whole movie. It had its issues.
I feel like Cage listened to direction and did what he was told and had kind of a one-note performance because that was the character. Not one note, but one-dimensional. And I didn't like how he became more and more passive, how things kind of just happened to him and he would just kind of react to them. And ended up that, in my opinion, Dennis Hopper upstaged him.
He was doing a reverse cuckold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just
WWE.
wanted Dennis Hopper to think that he had the upper hand. I mean, all the way from the very point, as soon as he met him, he knew that something was up, and he knew he needed to be collected, and so he was just preparing for the opportunity to take him out. So I don't know. I don't know that Dennis Hopper truly upstaged him. I think that he allowed himself. I think he allowed Hopper to upstage him.
No, I'm not saying the characters. I'm saying the performances.
And I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying that was part of. I'm saying that's part of Cage trying to not only represent his character, but do it through his acting as well. That he allowed him to upstage him so that people believed that Hopper was going to be truly the better end of this movie, and then Cage came in and swooped it out from him at the end.
What an argument, Steve.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If I had the choice to sit through either of these two movies again, I honestly would choose Red Rock West because it actually feels like a movie where the plot unfolds and I can follow it.
Yeah.
I still don't want to watch that one, though.
But that's not the question. The question isn't, what do you want to do tomorrow? The question is, which one of these movies is better suited to go on and compete?
Yeah. But which one of these movies, and regarding Nicolas Cage's role in them? Right.
But you said, which one of these movies? It's not solely which Nick Cage performance, which character do you want to go on, and it's which movie do you want to carry on. So there's elements of Deadfall that you have to carry with you, and that's what I don't want to do. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
So that puts it on you, Sean.
That's crazy, Steve. This is nuts because I thought you would choose Deadfall and I would choose Red Rock West.
I really thought I would choose Deadfall, and that's what I thought going into this. But as I watched Red Rock West at the beginning, I was sold, and it chipped away from me because there are a lot of flaws, I think, in Red Rock West, and I understand why it's not as popular as it is as I finished the movie. But I do still think that as a movie, it's just a better package deal than Deadfall.
It's more gooder than Deadfall.
Exactly.
That's a great way to put it. So, Sean, wow. Are you going to put Deadfall out to pasture? Oh, my goodness.
So,
I bet you feel like a Cage Lord again right now.
Yeah.
I always end up in this role. Honestly, I don't think either of these films has a chance in our finale. going up against some of the heavy hitters that we have coming up. Red Rock West, to me, it really comes off to me as like a movie that my dad would have had on VHS growing up, that he like got for free from his friend who owned a video store. Would just give him a bunch of these random movies, and it seems like something that I would watch back then growing up that I would not really care about. And you know, like I said, I do think that Red Rock West is the better film technically. I feel like I just didn't get anything really out of it. Like, there was nothing really in that film that was that overly memorable to me. Anything that I will probably think about in like a year or two. Whereas I think Deadfall, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a bad movie.
Fuck you!
But it stands out. I think I have to go with Deadfall just because I personally found it more entertaining at parts. It did drag. It definitely dragged, and it was hard to follow what the fuck was going on. But, you know,
Steve, don't do this. Steve, don't do this. He's upset, right?
Is he getting the steel chair?
So what did you vote for?
I think I gotta give it to Deadfall.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to leave again.
Steve, no.
All right. I just couldn't believe it was happening again, but that's okay.
I just can't believe that we both loved the hell out of Deadfall. I mean, when you watched Deadfall, though, Sean, did you understand why Steve and I were so psyched for you to see it?
Yeah, I mean, at the time I was just confused at what was what.
Yeah, what was going through your head when you saw Eddie's scenes?
Like that's the stuff. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Give me that greasy old mustache. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, Red Rock West put up a good fight, but alas, it will be Deadfall to move on to compete with, other masterpieces such as Guarding Tess and It Could Happen to You. So in our next episode, it appears that we will be talking about Nick Cage's transition into comedy. I mean, he's already kind of done some comedies. If you want to consider Valley Girl is...
No, they're both... they're both of the movies coming up next, right? The Guarding Tess and It Could Happen to You.
Uh-huh.
They're both kind of like comedies. If I remember right, there's some romance aspects.
Yeah.
And in both places, he plays more of the instead of being the con that he's been in a lot of times, he plays more of a law enforcement role.
Okay.
I believe in Guarding Tess, he's a bodyguard, and I believe in It Could Happen to You, he's a police officer.
I see. But we're going back to the kind of Moonstruck, Peggy Sue Got Married era again. Okay. Well, I'm excited for a change of pace here.
Yeah, it'll be a good little foray into the many faces of Cage.
Excellent. The Cage keeps going. So that's what we have to look forward to. Again, it's Guarding Tess and It Could Happen to You. Those will be the next two movies that we talk about.
If you get a chance to watch them alongside us and be ready for the next podcast.
Yeah. Well, we've enshrined our winner. Again, Deadfall. Thanks for listening again to Late Night Cage Fight. Be sure to check out all of our podcast episodes at nickcagefight.com. This will be an exciting season. We've got some heavy hitters coming up.
This is the golden age of Cage.
This really, we got Leaving Las Vegas.
Or at least the golden age of our youth. Because truthfully, my modern Cage knowledge is really only been the ones that we have reviewed so far of his more modern stuff. The Mandy, the Color of Space. Aside from that, I have not kept up with a lot of modern Cage. So we're actually in the golden age of nostalgia Cage.
Right. We are.
I can't truly comment on what today's Cage can bring. So not only should we be excited of what has been, but look forward to what will come.
Truly inspiring words, Cage Fighter Steve.
Yeah.
I echo that sentiment. Well, guys.
Namaste.
Thank you again for being a part of this fun ride, watching all of Cage's films. This is Late Night Cage Fight. Thanks for listening, and catch you next time. I'm out.